certain of it. We must prepare ourselves.
Then this is it. We do this for Gallus and for the Guild.
He's here, and he hasn't seen us yet. Brynjolf, watch the door.
Aye, lass. Nothing's get by me.
Climb down that ledge. See if you can...
Carlia, when will you learn you can't get the drop on me? When Brynjolf brought you before me, I could feel a sudden shift in the wind. And at that moment, I knew it would end with one of us at the end of a blade. What's Carlia been filling your head with? Tales of thieves with honor? Oaths ripe with falsehoods and broken promises? Nocturnal doesn't care about you, the key, or anything having to do with the Guild. Then it appears the shadows shroud more than your presence. They blind your wisdom as well. Our actions have always been one and the same. Both of us lie, cheat, and steal to further our own end. It's clear you'll never see the skeleton key as I do, as an instrument of limitless wealth. Instead, you've chosen to fall over your own foolish code. Then the die is cast, and once again my blade will taste nightingale blood. Carlia, I'll deal with you after I rid myself of this. In the meantime, perhaps you and Brynjolf should get better acquainted.
Damn you, Mercer. Fight!
Is that the best you can do?
Disappointed. This place is coming down. Quick! Get the skeleton key and the eye and let's get out of here.
No luck there, lass. Something must have fallen on the other side of the door because it isn't moving.
We have to find another way out of here before the place fills with water. can't believe it's over. 25 years in exile, and just like that, it's done. All that remains is to ensure the safe return of the skeleton key. I'm afraid it's not that simple. When the skeleton key was stolen from the Twilight Sepulchre, our access to the inner sanctum was removed. The only way to bring it back will be through the Pilgrim's Path. It wasn't created for the Nightingales. It was created to test those who wish to serve Nocturnal in other ways. As a consequence, I have no knowledge of what you'll be facing. Brynjolf is needed back at the Thieves' Guild to keep order while you're away. And I can't bear to face Nocturnal after my failure to protect the key. I'm afraid you'll have to face the end of your journey alone. Take this with you. I'm not certain if it will help within the walls of the Sepulchre, but I certainly don't need it as much as you. I've had this bow almost my entire life, and it's never let me down. I hope it brings you the same luck.
I'm glad we're friends. I have something for you. Here.
How can I help you? Currently, I'm deducing the nature of poison. It seems that regardless of the substance, the body has a threshold which cannot be surpassed. This can vary depending on the substance. For instance, the toxicity of nightshade is far higher than that of jazzbay grapes. A jazzbay grape, on the other hand, can leave you susceptible to destruction magic. All things, when consumed in enough quantity, can kill. It is. There's a story, in fact, of a man who drank from a fountain that was rumored to restore youth. An elderly man, he consumed water from dawn until dusk, until his stomach bloated like a gourd. The sun hadn't set when the man collapsed and died. It turns out he succumbed to water poisoning. For him, water was the source of all death. Similarly, as poison is in the dose, mortality is bound to time. A simple cut, if allowed to fester, can be fatal. While some areas are more tolerant than others, preventing death is simply a matter of restoring a wound within that set window. That's why efficiency is crucial in the field. Many deaths happen because there's simply not enough time to find a healer. True, both healing spells and potions restore the body as a whole, but most of this energy seems wasted in the process. Plenty. You just have to ask the right questions. Sorry, that's an old necromancer joke. I couldn't resist. Basically, I need test subjects for my restoration research. The dead tell me how certain ailments work. Unfortunately, unlike exterior damage, it's difficult to pinpoint injuries and disease that happen within. You have to dissect the body and look for patterns. Then you compare the results with healthy bodies that died from more obvious wounds. There's 3 types of research. The first is done purely for knowledge. The college mages fall into this category. The second is driven by agenda, the most common of which are money and war. Mostly money, but war's a close second. The third is altruistic, or more specifically, in service to the gods. My research follows no banner. It serves the will of the gods and the protection of all those who worship them. If my research is used for war, then I'm not to blame, even if I'm partly responsible. I trust that people are inherently good, because if mortals are corrupt, then it makes little difference what one person does. 2 reasons, really. The Temple of Jerulith, and the ample supply of bodies. It allows me to conduct my research while still upholding my duties as a priestess. Of course, the corpses here aren't the only specimens worth study. There's also the men. I never implied my work was solely on the dead. I used to experiment on small animals. I'd make cuts in multiple locations and attempt to heal only one of the incisions. If the spell succeeded, I would compare the result to a traditional healing spell, as well as the amount of magicka required to cast it. But this presented a new dilemma. Trapping wild animals isn't as easy as opening a coffin. There's also the matter of the screaming. Animals can be quite obnoxious when cut or burned. It's as if they don't understand the concept of research. Yes, it'd be nice if they could volunteer. Not to be eaten, of course. I suspect that would make it more difficult to eat them. The noises they made were such that I had to abandon my testing. Fortunately, I found a suitable replacement. Me. Twice, but only to heal myself afterwards. The problem is that so far, only one spell has been required to mend both wounds. By concentrating its effects at a specific area rather than the body as a whole. For a master of restoration, sure, the point is moot. Even a grand healing spell is but a portion of their magicka reserve. But for a novice mage or spell sword, the amount saved on magicka potions alone could be substantial. I have no doubt it would, but I don't like support. And Skyrim has no shortage of test subjects. I've always had a soft spot for sailors and travelers, for whom Jerulith is the matron. They would often visit the temples and pay homage and tend to their wounds. I marveled at these strange visitors from faraway lands, and the priestess whose touch could bind cuts, soften bruises and solder bones. But what intrigued me most of all was the concept of pain. It was pain that brought these men to the temple first, and the tavern second. The smart ones anyway. The others came too when the ale failed to cure them. Not one of my best. In any case, the point is this. Injury did not eventuate healing. Pain did. Without it, there's nothing to alert us of danger. And sometimes it acts in neither's best interests. But what fun would that be if it didn't? Guards have been telling travelers to watch the skies. In the past 2 weeks, 2 separate adventurers have been felled by mudcrabs. An archer in the bannered mare mocked Uthgard's figure. She proceeded to pummel him to death. Sense was not an arrow he had in his quiver. A bard was attacked on the road simultaneously by an angry bear and a hive of bees. It seems they knew all about him and his honeyed words. Trolls savagely beat a man near Chilfaro Farm. He died, but not before they managed to gnaw off half his face. And before you ask, no, it wasn't Nazim. Farewell.
Time to end this little...
I'll have your head on a pike. Victory or Solengard! Yeah! Mercy!
I'll see you burn.
You won't die! That's it! That's your best! Hit!
death is what you seek, you'll get your wish.
Weren't expecting that. Many noble jarls and renowned warriors asked to be buried here.
It's probably not a good idea.
Get the cold out.
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink. You hear any juicy gossip in town? Be sure to share it with me.
Word is Ellen went furious. Big party at the Valmore Embassy, and one of the guests went someplace they shouldn't. Caused quite a commotion. Until next time.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right then.
If it's a duel you seek, stranger, then I suggest you leave. I am not here to fulfill your desire for pain, or free you from your wretched existence. At least, not today. The faces change, but the taunts are the same. It seems originality is the only dead thing the Nords have failed to reanimate. I will tell you what I tell all the others. I am no longer a justiciar. If you still wish to duel me, then I will end your miserable life come morning. However, as of this moment, I am not in the mood. Interesting. I was quite certain this conversation would become gradually more belligerent, not less. Is it possible that there is one individual in this bullnetch of a province that is capable of reason? It is a rather simple matter. I disobeyed a direct order from my superior. I was stationed in Markarth with 2 others. We were investigating a family that kept abnormal hours, staying up well past midnight. Unfortunately, myself and one of the other justiciars got into an argument over the children. The fool thought they were innocent.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials.
They were future rebels. The moment we arrested their parents, they would forever despise us. The wisest course was to execute them. The issue was made irrelevant, however, when the entire family was found murdered. That is insignificant. The family was dead and no longer worshipped Talos. Moreover, by letting a murderer run amok, we prevented the family from becoming martyrs. There was just one problem. All right then. What? Ondolamar estimated that Talos worship would decrease by 1/3 in the wake of the murders. I don't know if that's true, but I wouldn't doubt his calculation. Of course, the Thalmor are not the Empire. We do not share their frothing obsession with bureaucracy. Talk to them and you'll see. Find a soldier and ask him to file a report. Then watch as his mouth becomes a pond of saliva. Although, I suggest you don a helmet in advance. One of those dwarven ones, lest his response shower your cheek. We are the first people, mortals fashioned in the mold of the divines. We don't have to respect anyone save ourselves. That is the whole point for this war, to put everyone in their rightful place. That it will. When superior minds are allowed to govern, the benefits will proliferate to all who are subject to their rule. There's nothing to tell. They act brave and fight poorly. The last one who challenged me was too busy rattling off the names of the relatives I had supposedly extinguished to even bother raising his shield. I think he was fumbling through what must have been a small army of second cousins when I set his weapon on fire. Yes, and this is after I told him I was no longer a justiciar. But he was a rather stubborn Nord.
Hello.
It is a temporary escape.
I was wondering if...
I do not plan on remaining in this hovel of a kingdom beyond the next season. My plan is to return to the Somerset Isle after doing a little sightseeing.
Let us know, will you?
Just because this land as a whole is irredeemable does not mean there are not the occasional sparkles of beauty.
Don't go away mad.
In fact, the squalor works to its advantage. In the Somerset Isle, even the dirt has a place in the pantheon of wonder. Here, there are no aesthetics to compete with. They are tolerant because they are afraid. As for the Jarl, it matters not whether Sidgeir or Dengir is in charge. Because when two buffoons of equally damaged minds vie for a throne, the reasonable citizens lose interest in the process. As such, more voice is given to the fools. And with fools in charge, the law becomes meaningless. Here, power makes the rules. They are not organized. There are only the occasional challenges, brought forth by those emboldened by drink. I usually deflect their taunts and tell them to return in the morning when they have sobered. None ever do. Very well.